Yo, 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 people, what's good? Starting the video off with this. Look at that on my bloody wrist. It's fucking ringworm, innit? Dirty. It just sounds butters like you've got ringworm. Not even actually a worm. I don't know why they call it ringworm. I can understand the ring, it being in the shape of a ring, but worm. Like, that makes me sound like I'm butters, innit? It reminds me of tapeworm or something, like I've got worm growing inside. What's that about? Looking at it like now, it's just, ugh. It's got better, I must admit. It used to be like really red raw, but you can kind of see the ring outline of it. Sorry if you're eating, by the way, that's disgusting. So they gave me some of this cream. I don't know how you actually, oh God, there we go. I don't know how you actually say this cream, but we're gonna put it into Google Translate. Dactacor, which is a steroid cream. Does that mean I'm not natural anymore? Fucking steroid cream, mate, I'm fucking on the cream. So yeah, this is an antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammation cream. Triple action, apparently. So yeah, that has got to go ASAP, because if anyone sees me with that, I think I'm gonna cry. With that on my wrist, it's fucking butters. Anyway, welcome to today's video. Been feeling like an old man recently. My piriformis muscles, so muscle right at the back here, like even when I sit down, like my muscles have been really, really tight, and I have to stand up and do my work now. Like the last time I stood up and did any work was on my 2019 prep, because I wanted to burn more calories. I'm complete opposite now. I don't really want to do that. So I've been implementing the old foam roller, been foam rolling the hips, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, and also I have been using a cricket ball on like trigger point therapy. Got a tennis ball I did, and I kept squashing the tennis ball because I'm so fucking, listen, when I tell you I'm massive, yeah, 5'6", huge, like 80 kilos, come on. No, on a serious note, I was squashing it, it's not hard enough. So I got myself a cricket ball from Sports Direct, and trust me, this bad boy, yeah, this bad boy, if I threw it at your head, you're gonna be knocked out, I tell you. I do some trigger point therapy on my ass. I might show you in a second if I can be bothered, but yeah, it's been a painful experience for the Georgie boy, and I'm fucking struggling with my stiff legs and all that sort of stuff. Where you going? Shit. Basically what I do in my spare time is I get that little cricket ball and I just sit on it like this, and I just really just get any, like right now I can feel the trigger of my glute and it's really tight. So I just sit there and I just roll it out, apply some pressure on there. Hey, get out, go on, go. Stop knocking me off. Yes, I find a little trigger, I just sit on it and I just really open out those glutes, and when I tell you I am sorer than a motherfucker. I am the sorest guy right now. My ass is killing me. So this is something that you guys can do if you've got bad hips, piriformis muscles, and you feel like a tingling sensation go down your legs sometimes. Do this. Really get them glutes loose. And all right, bruv. Do you mind? You're ruining the fucking vlog, boy. You're ruining the vlog. And here comes Max. All right, it's just a fucking dog fest, isn't it? Come on in, my babies. Come on in, you. There's my babies. Your breath stinks, boy. Your breath stinks, bruv. Get out of the camera, innit? Stinks, Max. You lose your teeth. Oh my god. What was that? What was that noise? So strange. Anyway, I look so small when I'm sitting here. Don't know why. There's a few things that I'm looking to do this year, and one is start investing my money. I haven't invested in life yet, and it's something that I am very keen on wanting to do. However, I want to learn about it first. I'm not going to just dive into it and just copy what everyone else is doing. I want to be able to understand it myself and kind of make it a bit of a hobby as well. Like, that stuff sort of interests me. I see it all the time, I see people do it, and I think, you know what, that actually interests me. And I'm only going to put in money that I feel, if I lose it, it's not going to affect me. You know, if I put this amount of money in, if I lose it, so what? It's not going to affect what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm that sort of guy. I'm not that guy who's going to fucking spunk thousands and thousands of pounds in it and fucking end up losing all his money. That's not how Georgie boy does it. If anything, I'm too scared to do that. That's what I want to do this year, is look into doing something like that. The second thing I want to do is actually look into property. Something I've not really thought about too much, but it's probably the safest and probably the easiest way of making money. Get yourself a little apartment, you know, 75 grand apartment, put 20% deposit down on that, which is, don't know, which is not that much thinking about it. Rent that out, you know, mortgage is probably £200-300 a month from that, maybe, I don't know. Rent out for £600-700 a month, bosh, 400 quid there. Obviously, you know, there's a little bit more that goes into that, but that, across the year, you're making money. That's what I'm thinking of doing. I said it on here, that's my ideas. I'm just using this YouTube video today just to channel my ideas that are going in my head. So if any of you guys watching that do that sort of shit and can give me advice on that, I would be greatly appreciated, whether it's stocks, whether it's fucking mortgages and looking at renting and that sort of stuff. Let me know. That's something that I'm willing to do. Yeah. And I want to document that as well. And I've come to the realisation that I want my own like little gym and using it for me and having all the best kit that I enjoy using in one unit, so I can go there instead of going to the fucking gym and training. Because when it comes to like YouTube content and stuff like that, it's a pain in the ass because I always get copyrighted, videos get bloody blocked, and it's just a hassle. Whereas I can just have one place where I can train, subscribers can come down for the weekend, we can do training footage, we can record videos, we can do this, we can do that. I want to do that in my life. And I woke up the other week and I was thinking that is something that really interests me, and I can document it on here. I can document like the stocks and all that sort of stuff, because that's all very new to me. I ain't got a clue about that. I've been researching a lot of shit. I still ain't got a clue. I know more about it now, but it's all very new to me, and I just want to showcase that on the channel and make it a little bit funner, because when you are in your off seasons and you're not competing, it does get a little bit stale. You know, you must admit, like watching me gets a little bit stale sometimes. Whereas if I can have something going on in the background that I can focus towards, I think that's going to keep people engaged. And then, you know, I'll have a gym one day, a little unit for the Georgie boy. That excites me, because as always, I always say, I got no mates. I can't talk to my mates about this. You guys are my mates at the end of the day. So yeah, that's what's on my mind at the moment. It's a bit of a mad one. I'm going through this sort of age where I'm, you know, wanting to do more in my life. So Will was kind enough to give me a new protein to try when I was at the expo. You can get it on the Supplement Mad website. Naughty Boy have just released this actually, I believe. Cinnamon cookie dough flavour I've gone for. Just opened the tub and fuck me, that smells good. It actually smells like cinnamon cookie dough. It smells like biscuit as well. Smell that, go on. Open your nostrils and smell it. Get your fucking nostrils open and fucking straight, come on. It smells really, really good. So I'm hoping, I'm just preparing my my little post-workout shake, if you want to call it that. I'm hoping it tastes as good as what it smells, because it smells good sometimes, this sort of stuff, and it tastes fucking dreadful. I might just eat the powder like that, I might neck it like people do with protein, like knobheads. Why do people do that? I would never ever do that. Your poor old teeth. Anyway, I'm gonna have, how much am I gonna have of this, George? 2 scoops, 66 grams. Oh, that's a lot of protein, boy. A lot of protein for a fucking little boy still, in it. Still a fucking latty little cunt, in it. Went 2 grams over. Definitely gonna lose, well, definitely gonna get fat off that. Come on. That would do, donkey. That would do. Has anyone heard Freddo's and Suspect song? Fucking banger, mate. Fucking banger.
Can't get to the fools, it's calm. Got bro PG, a little dots from Zana. Shells flying out like Mario Kart. Roll up, bro ditch, and I bum man's Clark.
So the gym brought in the cookie dealer, and I've heard about these before. They're fucking... Here's my man, dude. Check the size out of it. Look at these bad boys. Nut butter. Peanut butter and jam, Slim Shady, and I tell you, when these are fucking heavy, dude, these are heavy. They're about 1,400 calories or something like that. Crazy. I'm not plugging here at all, but fuck me. They do look good, yeah, but you've got to save these for the off season. No dieting in these bad boys. Fucking hell. Big boys, big boss. Might take one home. Just got into the gym, I forgot my tripod, didn't I? So I'm balancing it on a tub of protein right now. This might be a bit of a nightmare to record, so if some of the angles are really bad, I do apologise in advance. If not, I don't give a fuck, mate. Just watch the video. In for Paul. I don't think I've shown you this stiff leg rotation yet. I might have done, I'm not sure. I need to backtrack on what I've been doing for the past couple of videos, because I sometimes lose count of what I filmed and what I haven't filmed. This is one of my favourite sessions of the week. It's one of the most, I get really anxious for this session as well, I must admit. It's just the stiff legs always give me a slight bit of anxiety. I don't know why. If anyone else gets that, it's like anxiety to perform and trying to not let that dictate the session. Like if the stiff legs go really bad, then typically the session is shit. It's not shit, but in my head it's shit, even though everything else might have progressed. If I didn't progress that stiff leg, it's the end of the world in my opinion. Got tight hips, tight glutes, and I've been struggling a little bit lately. It's just a battle sometimes with me when these stiff legs, or whether I can actually do the exercise because my hips give way before my actual lower back. But we're gonna still fight for it as always. We're a bit of a hardcore, bit of a madman when it comes to that side of things. So obviously I mentioned in the other pull rotation how I need to improve on my front shot. So that front relax shot, front double bicep, front lat spread. I need more lats from the front. Like from the rear, my back is pretty good. Like it's came up a lot over the 2 years of my off season so far, which I'm really happy about. But at the same time, I feel from the front is where I mainly need to focus on right now and keep that as a priority. So a lot of it is, you know, straight arm pull downs, horizontal rows, even like pullover machine I've incorporated recently. Obviously with pushing up your body weight, you do get, obviously the balance of the physique goes a little bit off and your stomach gets distended out, it loses that sort of V taper. So I'm going to try and not let that side of things affect what I'm trying to achieve overall with pushing up my body weight. So I always start off with a single arm unilateral row on an ISO. It's called an ISO pull down, I think they call it. The reason behind that is if you see this exercise, like one thing we'll take into consideration, it's very hard to get short. When you're fatigued in terms of your lats, this portion here is fine, but getting that elbow short down here when you're fatigued is very hard. So I always call it the priority principle. You may have heard me say that a few times in my video. Prioritizing an exercise first when you are fresher makes sense. So I'm gonna do that unilaterally. Again, I have a little bit of an imbalance. One lat's bigger than the other, and it is notable in some shots, especially from the front. So working unilaterally is gonna help work upon that. Then I'm gonna go into a hamstring curl for one set. So I always do a hamstring curl before I do a stiff leg, just to get the hamstrings engaged, firing. Makes it a lot easier for me when it comes to actually doing the hip hinge itself, because if I can drive from my hamstrings, not fucking tear a hamstring. 2 sets of the stiff leg as well, so going to build that up over time. The best I've ever done is 180 for set 6 on the stiff legs. I'm not there yet ever since I've lost weight. Chest supported prime row for 2 sets. My favourite chest supported row is the prime row. If you've got one of those in your gym, take full advantage of it. And then we're going to do a single arm horizontal row for a rest pull set, which I'll probably break down in the session. Rear delt fly, dumbbell bicep curl, and a preach curl to finish off. And then I'll probably do some calves, because I've been doing calves 3-4 times a week at the moment, and I've noticed improvements. And I like big calves, you know, they just look good. And I've noticed it even in my videos that I think, like, you know, my calves look all right there. So that's definitely been a priority for me for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure. That's what the session looks like. 170 pounds right now, so 10 pounds off where I was originally, but surprisingly in better body composition this time round, going up, which is a good sign. I know what I'm like when I go above 180 pounds. My mobility, my movement is quite poor for someone who's 5'5" natural. I've always said, and I'll say this again, it's just pushing to that unknown scares me a little bit, but it's what's needed in order for me to level up next year on stage. And you'll see me, you know, my ideal kind of goal next year is to be over 150 pounds on stage. So if I can do that, you know, that's impressive in terms of building muscle. So yeah, that's what the session's going to look like.
I tweak on this, you know. It sounds cold.
Active gang, anything goes. Running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty pose. I scream RP when you left your bro. I was looking at 15 years, bro. I started done magic like Dynamo. I'll jump out bare with my peers, swing, ching, and ruin your clothes. Active gang, anything goes. Running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty pose. I scream RP when you left your bro. I was looking at 15 years, bro. I started done magic like Dynamo. I'll jump out bare with my peers, swing, ching, and ruin your clothes. My each thing want do it like Burner and Steph, but I'm in the TM bros being a chef. Boxes get shot like peps fly like tryna send out a text. SS and S, that's chest and next. Don't care if your wham shan't rip through pecs. If I'm from the f***, then you know the vibe. Get caught in a glide might end up.
So that was the ISO pull down. Fucked after that. It's a really good exercise, again, like I said to begin with, to get really short. And for me, I like to lean to one side, so it's almost kind of like, imagine holding the handle like this, lean to one side, just really think about driving the elbow down and getting that really good contraction. Gonna move on to the seated hamstring curl now for just one set of like 10 to 12, just to get some blood flow into the hamstring before I do a stiff leg. Stiff legs incorporate obviously a lot of hamstring activity, so for me it makes sense just to isolate it a little bit, get some blood flow in there, and me think about driving through my hamstrings as well, which is important. So one set, all out set, I'm gonna go for it. Fucking come on, Drizzy boy.
I'ma lean out the ride on the gang thing with this hand thing and let sweeties fly out the start. I'm with my bros in a stolen car, someone show me where the hot boys are. Pull move quick so you better run far, but put up in jail, that's an insta alarm. Sit on the fence, keep thinking we're calm till you see a firearm at the end of my arm. I don't know for these brands.
One of the best pieces of advice I have for warm-up sets, especially on like a leg curl, is to write down your setup. So I write down where the seat position is. I write down what fucking A, B, C, D, fucking writing extra large, is writing on there. I write it down all on my logbook. So when it comes to me coming back here and thinking, oh, what did I do last time inside the setup? I just look at my logbook. The other things to remember is in your warm-up sets, make sure that the setup is correct. So I always say keep the hip joint, the knee joint, the ankle joint all in line with each other. I see so many people have the fucking knees wider than the hips, ankles wider than the fucking knees. And for me, if you just want the perfect setup, get everything in line with each other. So you're not fucking wasting time flapping about, wondering why your hips hurting, wonder why your glutes are moving forward. Nail it all in the warm-up set so you haven't got to worry about it. So this is like an assist your lift gym pin sort of attachment. Well, obviously you can put the D handles in certain pins, obviously really close, really wide. This is how I've set up the D handle pull down. You're seeing in the video, slightly lean back, leaning through the elbows. So a really good attachment actually. If you've got one of these in your gym, take advantage of it. The D handles are great to allow you to freely rotate at the wrist joint. Obviously, sometimes when you're locked in that position, it's a lot of bicep, a lot of forearm. This takes away from that nicely.
New goose, they jump on road, then jump in zoots. Then a mumsy jumps on the news and told the whole world there was a good youth. Golden brown with the tightest coot, she gon' suck my dick in his coot. Said she want yuck me all the way home, now I'm on way choosing a long route. If you see my boys in the hood, better run off quickly or end up like runs in and out on the blade with sticky, clean it and dice on my grub like Vicky. My hands in the air, I ain't doing a wave, hand ting on the gauge, I ain't really picky. You can't take shots if bros you turn up, die on the floor feeling more than tipsy. You know one about bro, the assassin, and put a bell firm in your head like a do-rag. But you throw up a barrel, there sitting in heaven thinking why did I do that? I heard my man wanted to rap, now he can spit bars with Biggie and Tupac. I'ma jump out the ride like who's that?
My wap, try to send him to the
I came out jail, then went back in, my shank went in and then came back out. I just hit my brownie real quickly, the swap in the house and my kids in her mouth. She's arching her back on the sofa, I pull out and bust all over the couch. Them man there just do it for the clout and I highly doubt that they gon' ride.
Prime chest supported rope. For me, load it in the middle pin, which is the mid-range. The reason behind that is, as I'm getting deeper into the session, just thinking about what I said earlier about getting things shorter is obviously going to be a lot harder. So place it in the mid-range, you're not obviously getting too much in the lengthen range, and you're not getting too much in the shorten range either, so you get a cross between the both, in my opinion, and I feel it the best, it's more comfortable for me. Again, I write down where my setup is, so bench, chest pad, it's all got numbers on it, and I just simply write down, so when I come in here next time, I'm not flapping about trying to find what the setup is. Why, I didn't need to say why, what the setup is. Yeah, really good exercise, really think about driving my elbows back. I used to on this, like lean back ever so slightly, but I try and bury my chest into the pad now. With that, we're going to move on to the single arm hammer strength row.
I got no remorse for these ops, bro, died, I was riding out non-stop since then. Bare man got free, man got drops in their face on a t-shirt top. I've been touring this block for hours, this back keeps clicking, I'm feeling hot. But I can't take this value off my face, so once again, that's scamming a dot. He got chefed and sent to the dot, but the dot couldn't save him, his heart already stopped.
Right, so that's the majority of the session done. We're going to move on to some rear delts and bicep work to finish off. Rear delts, so reverse pec deck, the common theme I see with people and the mistakes they make is elbows being too low. What you really want to think about is bringing your elbows to the corners of the room, keeping it nice and high. Like watch when I perform these, my elbows are high, I'm not letting them drop down. The more I drop down, the more trap I'm going to be using, rhomboid, that sort of stuff. For an exercise like this, you don't want to be using that because obviously our traps are way bigger than what the rear delts are. So another tip I actually like to really think about here as well is actually rounding my shoulders slightly when I'm doing these, just to take any sort of momentum away from using my traps, because when I retract my scapula, I'm using more trap. So an exercise like this, I wouldn't recommend retracting your scapula. Just let your shoulders naturally round over and make it just all rear delt.
You don't wanna see BA taking shots. If you're in his lens, then you're gonna get caught. Try riding the script, got flipped, he got chinged and chopped, man, I guess that flopped. This whap is older than my pops, the rambles unclipped and the handy's caught. Active gang, anything goes, running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty pose, how you scream RP when you left your bro. I was looking at 15 years, bro, I started done magic like Dynamo. I'll jump out bare with my peers, swing, ching and ruin your clothes. Active gang, anything goes, running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty pose, how you scream RP when you left your bro. I was looking at 15 years, bro, I started done magic like Dynamo. I'll jump out bare with my peers, swing, ching and ruin your clothes. Ching and ruin your clothes.
So that was a really good session, probably the best session I've had since I've been back into the gym. Like, everything just clicked. I made tweaks to the program a little bit. Obviously what you heard at the beginning of the video was slightly different, or the beginning of the training footage was slightly different to what I actually did in the session. And sometimes I'm just trial and error and something, especially my back training right now, like certain things, and I've gone and spoke to AJ about this as well, and he's fine with me changing a few bits and bobs about. But I think what I did in today's session was what I am going to be doing moving forward, because in order for you to progress, you've got to have some consistency, and that's the problem with so many people nowadays. They want to chop and change everything they're doing every couple of weeks, and you never really build up that consistency. As always, sitting in the gym, just going to wait 5-10 minutes before I start consuming my 125 grams of Rice Krispies and square bar. Fucking Rice Krispies going everywhere then. 2 scoops of whey protein. Something like which I normally take after like very taxing sessions like leg days and days where I'm doing my hip hinges, so RDLs, is I incorporate some ashwagandha, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. 2 capsules of this, which is 600 milligrams. I think the clinical dosage of it to get the effect is 600 milligrams. It has a calming effect to it. So obviously before we want to start digesting food, we want to be in a parasympathetic state. So it's called basically a relaxed state. That's going to help us bring down our heart rate, which is obviously going to improve our digestion, which is obviously going to help uptake carbohydrates, uptake food in general. Something which a lot of people neglect around the peri-workout nutrition, especially the post-workout, is instead of rushing after you've trained, just take a minute, just sit down, just focus on bringing that heart rate back down to baseline and just chill. Like, sit down and chill and do nothing for 5-10 minutes. See how that feels. So this is an absolute game changer. This is something that you're into and you want to, again, it's not going to give you that fucking 10 pounds of muscle overnight, but these little percentages in natural bodybuilding, they add up over time and it makes a massive difference. So I use Headspace quite a fair bit, and one of the quotes which was mentioned today, because it always gives me like quotes, is can you pay closer attention when eating to just eating, or when drinking just to drink? What I usually do when I'm eating is I sit on my phone. So I'm eating, chatting on my phone, that. What I do now is I just put my phone to this, just put my phone over there. Don't need to be on it. And I can just focus on eating and just being in the moment. Give it a go. It's fucking hard, but just give it a go, and you don't need to be sitting on your phone and fucking eating at the same time. So it's something that I've been trying to work on, just having a positive relationship with food and focusing on looking forward to eating instead of having to distract myself to eat and be on my phone. Give it a go.
It sounds cold.
Active gang, anything goes, running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty pose, how you scream RP when you left your bro. I was looking at 15 years, bro, I started done magic like Dynamo. I'll jump out bare with my peers, swing, ching and ruin your clothes. Active gang, anything goes, running it up, ain't got time for hoes. ZK's hunting's rusty